All right, welcome. Welcome. So my name is Monica. This is Beginner's Yoga. And so today, as I just announced, looks like all of you probably heard, that if you have the ability to have the long edge of your yoga mat about 6 inches from a wall space, that would be great. If not, totally fine. So I've been focusing a lot for the past couple weeks on opening the upper body, opening the heart, because that just felt so relevant for this global pandemic that we're in. But today I thought we'd focus on the foundation, and the foundation in yoga is whatever is touching the floor. So today we'll focus on grounding, stabilizing, so that we can open up into freedom from a place of stability and comfort and a sense of rootedness. Okay, so hopefully that sounds like a plan. So please come to lie on your backs with the left side of your body facing the wall, the long edge of the wall, if you have that mat set up. So as we begin, we'll just take a few moments to find our breath. You can have the legs wide, you can have feet at outer edges of the mat, knees knocking together, hands can be in cactus, out to your side or onto your body. Just find a place that feels stable and comfortable for you. Begin to connect with your breath, finding a sense of how you're breathing today. Notice how the breath is moving through the torso. Is it shallow or deep? Do you feel the breath in one area but not another? Without trying to fix or change anything, just take this time to get acquainted with yourself. If you'd like to take a pranayama, a breathing exercise with me, today we'll try Dirjya Pranayama, which means 3-part breath. So in a moment, I'll ask you to breathe into the belly, hold, into the ribs, hold, into the upper chest, all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and then exhale through the nose or through an open mouth to let it all go. As you're ready, please exhale. Inhale into the belly, hold, inhale into the ribs, hold, inhale all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Inhale into the belly, hold, inhale into the ribs, hold. Inhale all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Please try a few more rounds with your own breath if that interests you. Feeling for how you can begin to build awareness of the breath, awareness of the body. Notice any places that you're holding tension, and notice what you feel pressing into the floor. Notice if there are any places that feel unnecessarily tight. Maybe there are places that feel blank or numb. Just use these moments to take stock of where you are. Just slow down the breath in this 3-part movement, taking the time to savor the filling up through your whole torso. Please take 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. Maybe sipping in a little more breath than you thought you could hold. And as you're ready, you can return to your natural breath. Please bring soles of the feet onto the earth and then line them up so that they're hips width distance. You can bring your hands to goalpost, cactus, or just bring them out to the side, palm face down. On your next inhale, please lift your right leg up to the sky. Grab on behind your right thigh and then wiggle your shoulder blades down into the mat. Begin to kick that right heel towards the sky, flexing your toes back towards your face. We're in a hamstring stretch here, so you're stretching the back of that right thigh. Feel for sending that thigh away from you into the hands. Keep the shoulder blades down, and then hug that thigh back towards you. Find a little push-pull where you find maximum stretch on the back of the right thigh, but nothing pulling behind that right knee. Take 2 more breaths here. Make any adjustments you need, maybe flexing those toes a little bit more towards your face. And as you're ready, you can slowly bend that right knee, hook the right ankle outside the left thigh. Then pick up your left foot and interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Send that right knee away from you, left thigh towards your face. Wiggle those shoulder blades onto the back, onto the ground again. This will stabilize the rotator cuff. It's therapeutic for the shoulders. Keep flexing those right toes as they cup that left knee. Keep sending that left thigh towards your right thigh away. Take 1 more breath here. And as you're ready, you can release both feet back down to the mat. Bring soles of both feet down to the ground. Feel for your feet being parallel and inner hips width distance apart. Reach back for your heel with your longest finger so you can just brush it. Bring your arms, upper arms, into robot arms. So they'll be out, maybe even a little bit of a diagonal. Wiggle those shoulder blades down into the back. Palms face each other, fingertips point towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, ground down into your upper arms, down into your feet. Lift hips to the sky, coming into bridge. Head might slide back behind you, making more space for the neck. As you exhale, lower hips back down to the mat. Every inhale, lift the hips up. And as you exhale, come back down to the ground. Keep your knees pointed straight up at the ceiling. So really feel for how you can root through all 4 corners of your feet, root through your arms. Create more stability to lift straight up to the sky. If inner edges of the feet are getting light, press them down. We'll take 2 more rounds. Maybe lift a little bit higher than you thought you could. And as you've completed that, you can come back down. Release both legs long in front of you. This is where we're going to use the wall if you have it available. If not, no problem. So please lift your right leg to the sky. Take your left hand for that outer right thigh. And then take your right leg over to the wall. Toes will hit the wall if you have it. Begin to shift your hips over to the right so that you can flatten that right foot onto the wall. Keeping that left hand on the thigh, feel for pulling your belly over to the right as you feel a stretch on this outer edge of the right leg. Keep sending those toes into the wall, twisting the belly over to the right. This should light up the outer edge of your right leg. If you don't have a wall, no problem. Just keep that left hand firmly on that right thigh. You can experiment, if you have the wall, with pushing toes into the wall versus the whole foot. What you don't want, either with or without the wall, is for the right ankle to be at a weird angle. So keep that right ankle in line with the right knee. We'll be here for one more breath. Wherever you are, wall or no wall, feel for a strong stretch on that outer right leg. Okay, take one more breath in. Then as you're ready, roll off onto your left side. Help yourself back up. And we'll come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Soles of the feet come together. And then take your right hand over onto your outer left thigh. Press down into left fingertips behind you. Get a little taller. And then exhale, twist over to your left. On your next inhale, come back through center, taking the left hand to the outer right thigh, right fingertips behind you. Get tall on the inhale, exhale, twist to your right. We'll take this dynamically 2 more times. So inhale back through center, back to the first side. Press down through those fingertips, get so tall. Exhale to twist. Inhale to come back around, get tall. Exhale to twist. Do the last one with your own breath. Just feeling for how stable you can be. Feeling for how that pressing down really lets you revolve into the twist. As you've completed that, come back through center. Take hands beneath thighs. Help your feet together. And then come to lie down. This time, right side is facing the wall if you have one. Okay, so bring soles of the feet into the floor. This time, left leg will lift for the hamstring stretch. Notice that you're straight, like mine, might not be totally straight, no problem. Feel for wiggling those shoulder blades down onto the mat. Flex those left toes back towards your face. Then feel for releasing the thigh into the hands. Then send the thigh closer to you. So find this little push-pull action, and then find the place where you have maximum stretch, back of the left thigh. Maybe flex or point the toes. Feeling for how that changes the stretch. If the shoulder blades are lifting again, send them back down. We'll be here one more breath. On your next inhale, bend the left knee, cross that ankle outside the leg. This time, pick up the right foot up off the mat. Interlace your hands behind the right thigh. Flex those left toes, even flex right toes. And then hug that thigh in as left knee moves away from you. Keep sending those shoulder blades down. If upper back is trying to round up off the mat, stay rooted here, stay solid, so that you have some support to pull that thigh into, right thigh, as left thigh moves away. Even pull your belly towards your spine here. Give yourself a little more space to pull that thigh in. Take one more breath. And exhale, release both soles of the feet back down. Parallel your feet, brush your heel with your longest finger. And this time, bring palms down beside you onto the mat. On your next inhale, lift your hips, lift your hands back behind you. And exhale, come back down. Every inhale will lift hips and hands. Backs of palms may or may not touch the floor. It's actually not important. Exhale, lower down. Keep going with your own breath, feeling for how you can press into the feet, how you can stay stable as hips lift. Hopefully pelvis is lifting left to right at the same time rather than dropping on one hip. Notice for how you can distribute your weight into what's on the ground, back of the head, feet, maybe the upper back, feeling for how you can create more stability and comfort. Please take one more. As you're ready, come back down, release both feet. This time, left leg will lift up to the sky. Send that left foot off into the wall, get it flat. So you may have to end up more on your right outer hip. That's totally fine. You can bring arms into cactus or you can leave them down at your side. I find cactus gives me more stability. And then press that whole left foot into the wall, lighting up your outer left leg, IT band. As you inhale, feel for how you can get more stable, more grounded in the upper body. Twist belly over to the left as you push that foot into the wall, or just have your right hand on that outer left thigh if you don't have a wall available. Last few breaths, maybe feel for pushing only the ball of the foot and the toes into the wall. Keep that ankle happy, keeping it in line with the foot, don't let it wobble. Let's take one more breath here. As you're ready, roll off to your right, come back up, Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose again. Soles of the feet together, place your fingertips behind you and boost yourself up. So really get onto the front of your sit bones so that your low back isn't spilling back. Keep your right hand behind you, take left hand to left middle thigh. Press forward on that palm and heel of the hand so that you can glide that left thigh bone forward. Keep breathing here. You're not pushing the thigh down as much as you're gliding that thigh bone out of the hip. Take one more breath in. As you inhale, woo, come back through center, switch sides. So this is your right heel of the hand on that right middle thigh. Lean some weight back into that left hand behind you and then glide that right thigh bone long, 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 long. As if you could elongate your bones, giving you more space here. Every inhale, fill up, and exhale to glide. Let's take one more breath. As you're ready, come back through center, bring knees together, and then sit on your sit bones. We're coming into boat pose, Navasana. So you can grab on behind the backs of your knees, wiggle on to the front of your sit bones, and then begin to lean your weight back without just slumping. Pick up the toes. Maybe you do a little toe dance where you have one up and one down, or you can come to more of a right angle. You can keep your hands right here behind the knees, using that to boost your heart up as back of the head, sides of the throat slide back. Or you can release the arms long. Stay right here. If you want more, you can inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, touch them over to the right. Inhale will bring you up. Exhale, touch them over to the left. Keep going with your own breath, knowing that at any moment you can come back to touching toes down, grabbing behind the knees. If you're still touching the side with me, just keep it going until your breath requests that you not do that anymore. Please end on the left side if you're still touching. Come back up, boost yourself up one more time, and then exhale, Baddha Konasana one more time. This time we'll take a fold, so you can bring your hands back behind you, and then get the tallest you've gotten all day. From there, release your hands to your shins or your ankles, pull yourself up one more time, then hinge from the hips. So go forward, 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 forward till you can't go anymore. Then round the upper back, releasing the head and the neck. If you're on your forearms, maybe even walk your forearms a little bit out. Keep finding more space to lengthen out of the pelvis here. If you've got any tension in your head, neck, or jaw, just let it go. Know that there are often parts of ourselves that try to help, that can't really do so much. So just allow those parts to release. Focus on what's on the floor, how you can lift your torso up out of your pelvis to lengthen a little bit more and then fold forward. Take 2 more breaths. Really enjoy your hips here. Maybe you have a lot of sensation like me, maybe not so much. As you've completed that, begin to walk yourself back up. Help your thighs together one more time. Swivel around and we'll meet up on hands and knees. If you like a blanket beneath your knees, go ahead and grab that. We won't be here too long, but we will be moving into some lunges after some warm-ups. So coming into tabletop, so knees are under hips, wrists are under shoulders. Spread the fingers wide and then spread them even wider, like you could stretch the webbing of your hands. And then decide if you want toes tucked for more stability or untuck tops of the feet on the ground for more length. As you're ready, drop the belly, lift the tail, coming into cow. As you exhale, tuck the tail around the upper back, look towards your belly, cat. Keep going with your own breath, feeling for how you want to move today. Maybe you circle the hips or shift side to side. You do what you need to do to open up here, but regardless of how you're moving, really focus on pressing down through the hands, down through the feet, building good habits here of creating stability through whatever is touching the ground. As you're ready, please return to a neutral spine and then lift that right leg back behind you. The right hip will try to lift, drop it down, toes point straight down. Then release those right toes back behind you. This is your inhale position. As you exhale, lunge back into that right ball of the foot, feeling for a calf stretch. You can continue shifting forward back to neutral on the inhale, exhaling back, or you can stay back, maybe shifting hips side to side, maybe bending elbows back, maybe bouncing a little, just looking for sensation on that back right lower leg, the calf. Opening up the backs of the legs, which if you've been sitting more, moving less like me, it might feel tight. Take one more breath here, wherever you are. As you're ready, come forward, replace that right knee, and then we'll take that left leg straight back. So drop the hips so toes point straight down, one long line from heel to head. Drop those left toes to the ground. This is your inhale. As you exhale, lunge it back. This side might feel totally different. Maybe you keep shifting back to neutral on the inhale, lunging it back on the exhale, or maybe you stay lunging back and just shift the hips, even bending that left knee, bending the elbows back, just gently, kindly opening up that left, perhaps chunky calf muscle. Okay, take one more breath in, and then on your next inhale, return to hands and knees. Walk the hands one handprint forward, spread the fingers wide, shoulder width distance apart, tuck the toes, walk the knees one knee print back, hips width distance apart. Press down through the hands, press through the feet, lift hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Bend the knees if backs of the legs are still tight. Mine are, yours might be too. This will just allow you to get hips to the sky, and then if you want to re-straighten, you can. But knees can always be bent in down dog, giving yourself a little more boost. Glue your hands down to the ground here. Really feel for taking the weight more into the fingertips instead of the wrist. Send your fingertips forward, heart back towards your heels. Plug the arm bones into the shoulders. Release head and neck. Let's take 2 more breaths in this beautifully strong downward facing dog. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank, knees up or down, one long line from head to heels. Puff up through the upper back, pull belly towards spine, send more weight into the fingertips. Feel for reaching back through your heels, keep pulling belly towards spine. Let's take 2 more breaths, you can always drop your knees. On that second exhale, shift forward, lower all the way down to your mat, setting up for Cobra. So the hands will come right outside the ribs with the wrist under elbow, untuck the toes, pull your belly towards spine, push down into the feet so much that kneecaps lift, press into the hands, inhale, come on up. Send shoulders away from your head, away from your ears. Keep sending tailbone back behind you. Use those tops of the feet to press down, anchor yourself, maybe get a little higher. Send back of the head, sides of the throat back. Don't forget your hands. Press heavy through the inner edges of the hands. Roll the shoulders back. Take one more breath. And exhale, lower down. Okay, come back to hands and knees. And then come to tabletop. Now widen your knees so that they're mat's width distance apart. Toes will come towards touching. On your inhale, come into this cow pose with wide knees. As you exhale, round the upper back, sit back towards your heels, child's pose. So the inhale will take you into cow with wider knees. And exhale, sit it on back. Option always to stay in child's pose or keep finding this flow. What can you learn about how to press down through whatever is touching the mat by taking this movement, or even just by staying in child's? All right. Take one more. And then we'll stay in child's pose for a few breaths. Walk the hands out. Press down through the inner edges of the hands. Lift the armpits, the middle of the armpits up towards the ceiling. So puff up in your armpits like you wanted to stick an egg into your armpits. So hollow out. Keep pressing heavy through the hands. And then find how this gives yourself a little bit of a boost and a strong activation through the inner edge of the arms. Pull belly towards spine. Maybe release head a little bit more towards the mat. May not touch. But keep this activation through the inner edge of the hands, armpits. Feel this in your upper back. Take one more breath here. As you're ready, come back up. Walk back to hands and knees. And then we'll step ourselves into down dog. So walk hands about a handprint forward, knees back, tuck the toes, and then walk your hands back to the back of your mat for a forward fold. If you've got a blanket, you can get it out of the way. Great. So bend the knees if hands don't touch the floor. Really feeling that hinging from the hips, getting long through the torso so that you can descend. Release the head and neck. Maybe grab opposite elbows, or you can bring palms to back of the calves to send your weight a little more forward, giving yourself more space to lengthen out of the torso. Lengthen the torso out of the pelvis. Take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. As you exhale, fold down. Inhale will bring you all the way back up. And exhale, come on down. Keep going with your own breath. Every inhale brings you into halfway lift or all the way up. Exhale brings you on down. Feel for slowing down your breath here. Slowing down these movements. Really isolating that feeling of the feet pressing down. How can you feel more rooted as you ascend? Finding more stability to open up through the whole spine. Okay. As you're ready, next time you return to standing, you can bring hands through heart center. We'll take a moment in Tadasana. So feet are parallel, inner hips with distance. You can release your palms to your side, ground down through your feet, and then feel all four corners of your feet heavy in the mat. You can spin your inner thighs slightly back and then tuck your tailbone so it points straight down. So that should give you engagement on the inner edge of the legs as you roll the thighs back, and on the outer edges of the legs as you send the tailbone straight down. Grip down through your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. See if you can reach your torso up out of the pelvis. Really feeling yourself moving both down and lifting up. Send shoulders down the back, back of the head back, sides of the throat back. belly towards spine. Let's take 2 more breaths in this tallest position that you've taken all day. As you're ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed, and we'll step into a wide-legged stance, toes point forward. So wide-legged meaning wrists are roughly somewhat over ankles. Outer edges of feet are parallel. From here, please turn your right toes out to point towards the short edge of your mat. Bend into that right knee and begin to anchor that left foot down into the mat. Spin your left inner thigh in like we did a minute ago so that you have more weight on the inner edge of that left foot, back left foot. Keep walking the right foot out and then scoop your right sit bone under. You want to widen that right knee towards pinky toe edge side of the foot. Keep rooting through that back left foot, and then we'll come into side angle. So bend your right elbow, land it on that right thigh. This left arm can swing out in front of you, plug it into the shoulder, and then swing it up overhead. So you should have a nice side body stretch on this whole left side. Keep a right angle in that right knee. Keep pressing down through that entire back left foot. See if pressing down actually allows you to lift up out of the pelvis a little bit more. Keep this bottom right hand active. Spread the fingers. Spread the fingers on both hands so that you have this sense of stretching through the webbing of the hands. We'll take 1 more breath here. And as you're ready, straighten that right leg and then send the hips back to the left. Reach forward with the right hand until you can't go forward anymore, and then come down into triangle. Hand can land outside that foot or on the shin or the ankle, and then reach this top left arm back behind you, coming into a little bit of a back bend. Keep pressing down through all 4 corners of that back foot, spinning that back left inner thigh in. Will give you a little more space to lift up out of the pelvis as you windmill that left arm, left back of the palm back behind you. Take 2 more breaths. Really lean back into yourself. As you're ready, rebend that knee. We'll come back up through warrior 2. Feeling how sweet it might feel to sink down in the pelvis for a minute and then lift on up. Notice especially that back left foot. Keep weight in that entire foot. Keep sending that left knee, right knee, towards the right edge of your mat, just so it doesn't knock in. As you're ready, come back up. All toes point forward. We've got 1 more side of that. So bend into that left knee. Line up left heel with left arch. Keep walking that left foot out, and then find yourself pressing down through the entire foot of the right foot. Spin that back right thigh in just a bit, and then widen that left knee towards the pinky toe edge of the foot. Turn your torso back towards me. Keep anchoring that entire left foot, right foot, down into the mat, windmill arms out. Bend the left elbow, tip forward, change nothing in your legs, bring it onto that thigh. Send this top right arm out in front of you, Plug it into the shoulder and then swing it overhead. Keep grounding through that back right foot. Really sending the whole foot into the ground, giving you more space to open up all the way from the hip up into the armpit. Keep both hands active, fingers spreading wide. Don't lose this left foot. Keep guiding that knee towards the pinky toe edge side of the foot. And breathe. Lift the corners of your mouth. Take one more breath. And as you're ready, come back up. Straighten this left leg. And then tilt the hips back towards the right. Tilt this left hand forward, 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 forward till it can't go forward anymore. Drop it down. And then maybe bring the shoulders to a stack. So bringing right arm over left. Keep finding stability in that back right foot, pressing down through all four corners, maybe giving yourself space to windmill that pelvis out of the torso, out of the pelvis, sending that top arm back behind you, coming into a back bend. Pull belly towards spine. Really feel the feet giving you the stability and the comfort to open up. As you're ready, come back up. Warrior two. Feels so simple after all of that perhaps complicated feeling stuff. Keep doing all your good actions. So send that back right thigh in and then widen that left knee towards pinky toe edge of the foot. Maybe bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Press pelvis down. Get torso 1 inch taller. Keep that and re-extend the arms. We'll take 2 more breaths. Be your best warrior. As you're ready, all toes point forward, heel toe yourself together, and then you can just look up here. So I'm going to show this with a wall. If you don't have a wall, I'll just show a variation without a wall. So if you have a wall, we're doing half moon supported by the wall. So most of us don't have yoga blocks at home, so I've been avoiding poses that have just a natural need for a block, but I figured out how we could do this with a wall. So I'll show you and then I'll talk you through it so you can just watch. So you start with your right side facing the wall. My right foot, toes are pointing straight forward, and I'm maybe 3 inches from the wall. I bring this left hand to the hip, bend the right knee, drop my right hip onto the wall, maybe snuggle that right foot a little bit closer, keep the knee bent, then begin to lift myself up into half moon. So I have a baseboard, so I'm grabbing the baseboard, and then roll your hips onto the wall. And then you lift this top foot up so that you're about hip height, flex the left toes. You can keep adjusting that standing foot so that you can roll your hips and your tush onto the wall. From here, maybe you can release the arms to stack. You can keep back of the palm against the wall. You can reboost yourself using the baseboard, or maybe you can float, just using the support of whole body against the wall to float the hands. If that doesn't interest you, you could do regular half moon if you know that, or you'll come down to hands and knees, swing this bottom foot out at a 45-degree right foot, take left foot, stamp it into the ground, and then either just stay here in gate pose, which is awesome, or lift that left foot, come into half moon, Even bend and grab the thigh. So you can be here. Here is actually my favorite. Or you can be right here. So decide if you want to try the wall or not the wall. If you're coming to the wall, have your right foot near the wall. Toes point forward, you're 3 inches away. Bend that right knee, lunge into it, and then throw your tush against the wall. You can wiggle that foot a little bit towards the wall, but keep the toes pointed forward. Find a baseboard, lift a leg, roll the shoulder back. If you're on the floor, you're in tabletop, you have that right foot pointed back behind you, left sole of the foot stamps into the ground, lift up, maybe lift over, maybe lift a leg, maybe grab for that foot coming into a quad stretch. Wherever you are, find your breath, find your footing, find the stability of whatever you can press into wall, floor, or mat. And then as you're ready, come back down. Whew. Second side. So either set up, left toes point straight forward, 3 inches from the wall. You know what to do, bend that knee, throw your hips onto the wall, wiggle that left foot towards the wall, keep toes pointed straight forward, up, 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 flatten on the wall, maybe lift an arm, or go ahead and come down. This time, left sole of the foot, left foot will point out, and the right foot will come down, lift up, over, up, quad, so many options. Wherever you are, keep throwing your weight into what's supporting you. Take the support of the floor, mat, wall for one more breath. As you're ready, come back down, and we'll all meet up in a wide-legged position. Yay. All right, so toes point straight forward. Grab onto your hips. Get so tall, lengthen up out of the pelvis. Find an extra inch. Keep knees pointed straight forward. Don't let them knock in. Begin to hinge from the hips, folding forward. Bring hands to the ground. Make sure that your weight isn't shifting back behind you. And then take your right hand and lift it to the sky. Take right palm onto the back of the pelvis. So the point of this is that you want the pelvis to stay level this whole time. Take your right hand and reach it around for outer left leg. The tendency will be for the hips to go asymmetrical. You want to keep the pelvis level. Right hand, outer left leg, left hand, back of the pelvis. On your inhale, lengthen, and then as you exhale, twist over to your left, only as far as the pelvis will stay level. So you're finding the twist in the belly, you're not just lifting the hips to the sky. So this may be subtle as you pull yourself around over to the left. Feel for the twist being truly in the belly, might lift up through the shoulder. We're not just doing this, we're really feeling for how we can twist through the belly and the shoulders. Take one more breath and exhale, come on down. Take right hand, place it on the pelvis, and then feel for the pelvis being level. Take your left hand for outer right leg, keep that pelvis level, that's why your hand is there, and twist over to your right, twisting in the belly, maybe taking the shoulders with you, but not letting that right hip shoot up. Every inhale, lengthen, and exhale, maybe a little bit deeper. Take 2 more breaths here. As ready, come back through center, release your hands, walk your feet together. Yay, we're sitting down. Lie onto your backs. Bring your arms into goalpost or cactus. You can take your favorite supine twist, or if you'd like to go with me, take your right knee, bend it, and cross it over your left thigh. Take your legs over to the right. Maybe you snuggle onto that right outer hip, and then feel for sending this left hip away from you. Feel for keeping both shoulder blades down on the mat. Keep breathing into the whole length of the torso. I'll invite you to take 2 rounds of Dirjya Pranayama that we took at the beginning of class. Inhale into the belly, hold, into the ribs, hold, into the chest, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Take one more with your own breath, breathing belly, ribs, chest, feeling for how you can fill up even from this awkward position. Take one more slow, deep breath in and out. As you're ready, come back through center. Unwind your legs. This time, left leg will wind over right. Release the knees over to the left. You might end up on your left outer hip. Try to keep shoulder blades anchored here. And then send that right hip away from you. Invitation for 2 rounds of Dirjya Pranayama here. Inhale into the belly, hold, into the ribs, hold, all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Take one more with your own breath. And then as you're ready, keep anchoring that right shoulder blade as best you can. Stabilize through the shoulders. Take one more slow, deep inhale and exhale. As you're ready, come back through center, release into Shavasana, or take any final movements that you might need. Take a moment to really wiggle and settle everything down into the mat. Letting yourself melt. Finding the anchoring here that will allow you to release. Feel ankles getting heavy, calves getting heavy into the mat. Release your thighs, pelvis, torso, upper back, upper arms, lower arms, backs of the palms, back of the head. Release the muscles in your face. Release your jaw, part your teeth. Let your tongue slacken in your mouth. Take up all the space that you've received today. Final rest, Shavasana. Enjoy your breath. Feel your breath moving through your torso as your body melts back into the floor, back into your mat. Stay in stillness here. Or begin to take any movements that you need to reawaken. Bring your attention back into your body, back into the room. As you feel ready, you can roll off to your favorite side and return to a comfortable seat, eyes closed or gaze soft. You can bring your palms, palm to palm together in front of your heart, over your heart, or onto your thighs. Wherever you land, get tall one more time. Lift up out of the pelvis, crown of the head ascends towards the sky, belly pulls towards spine, shoulder blades melt down your back. Feel yourself rooted in your foundation, knowing that your breath is always available to you and that you can return to it at any time that you would like to receive that support. May each of us feel rooted, solid, and grounded today. Have a wonderful day. Peace.